So good evening and welcome to Donny Chaingang with me, Matt Payne, down here in the Full Speed Events OBSL studios. So I had to check where I was then, because we're back in the usual spot, as I'm sure everybody knows. And just going to be doing a little bit of sorting out of levels today, because we're back into Watopia. We've got lots going on. We had our Women's Only Wednesday yesterday, and we were given away as part of the 1080 12 DCGs of Xmas a fantastic Silka Impero pocket pump. Now, with it being a Women's Only a Wednesday, that was done on a very fastest finger, and it was incredibly quick. If you go watch the video on the Downey Cycling YouTube channel, you will see just how fast it is, and it's super fast. Well, those reaction times should see our riders in good stead tonight as they make the way out on one of the fastest courses on the Donny Chaingang, and that is Tempest Fuji out in Watopia. Now, the 12 DCGs of Xmas, we have 12 of our Donny Chaingangs. We have our standard open Donny Chaingangs on a Tuesday and a Thursday, as well as 3 of our women's only Wednesdays. That makes our 12 Chaingangs in Christmas. We have got some really special stuff coming up on them. We've got lots of giveaways, giving away well over £2,000 worth of kit going out to members of the DCG gang. That is the Donny Chaingang Supporters Club. And if you want to help support the Chain Gang, whether that is to keep the show on the road, whether that is to keep Rusty's wheels turning, to keep all the links going in, to give us the time to answer all of the questions and queries that inevitably come our way all day, every single day, don't we know it, then please do get yourselves on, join the DCG gang, the Donny Chaingang Supporters Club, and to say thank you, we send you all of the links direct to your inbox. You don't need to register. We give you discount codes for all of our favourite suppliers, everybody from OTE to the coffee to wheels, from Halo to Veloskin, so you're sitting comfortably. Of course, on gritty, sustainable clothing, as the hat says today. Please, guys, make sure you jump on there. If you can't afford it, don't worry. There'll always be the option to come and ride and just join a ride and come along and ride. So if you're one of our youngsters, if you, at the moment, things are a little bit tight, totally get it. That's the whole point of the Chain Gang. It's there to support you. But obviously, we're going to prioritise making sure that we look after the people. And just say thank you to the guys who donate. So over £2,000 worth of kit going away. Tonight, we have another giveaway that's been sorted out by Ian and the fantastic team at 1080. And tonight, we are giving away what you can probably see from the icon just up about, I can just about stretch across to it. It's kind of about there. That's it. It is a Castelli Sportful jacket. Now, this jacket is one of the absolute business. It's made from a single sleeve of material, the Fiandra Pro jacket. This matches the bib tights that went out on Tuesday to Simon McNamara. Obviously, a new winner tonight, because it's one winner, one rider, one prize on the Donny Chaingang 12 DCGs of Xmas. That way we can reward as many people. Already 10 prizes gone out so far. We're going to have lots more still to come. But this jacket, it's about £240 worth of jacket. So somebody's going to be a really lucky winner now. Our members who have registered for the DCG gang before the cut-off point are in there. And we've removed all the people who have won. Obviously, myself, Emma, Russ, Dean and co. All our families not involved in the draw. So we're knocked out of it as well. Really easy. How this works, we number all of our riders from 1 to 108 at the moment, after we've knocked out people who have won, and the riders in who have registered on time. And we'll start a random number generator, which is just over there, quite literally. It is right there in the studio. This is not just magic trickery. I'm literally pointing straight at the numbers. Now, the numbers are flying around at the moment, and we are going to stop this on a random number. I have no idea what it is. I've tried trying to make it stop at a number. It's impossible to do. It has given us some embarrassment when it stopped on somebody who's already won during the course of the year. Equally, we've seen some of our riders who've not won anything before get something this time around. So one rider, one prize. All the way through December, we have taken out those people who have won already. So Malcolm, Tiff, Caroline, Andrew, who's our red beacon tonight, Trevor, Chris, Neil, Sammy, Simon and Julie, all taken out of the running for this jacket. £240 of amazing Castelli Sportful Fiandra Pro jackets. Make sure you go onto the Saddleback website and have a look. Saddleback, of course, helping 1080 out with the promotions, and lots of great help from Spats, from Nonnas, from Halo, and of course from 1080 to make this happen. So let's hit the random number. I'll close my eyes and do this. There you go. I can't tell what it is. 65, which means that is going to be, scroll through the database, 65. Well, it is a supporter of the Donny Chaingang. This is Stefano Borelli. So, Stefano, congratulations. I know Stefano's been struggling a little bit recently, but Stefano, hopefully this is going to give you a little bit of a perk up. Stefano, of course, a keen supporter of the Donny Chaingang, and he was ineligible, don't worry, when we had the Nonnas draw. We've taken his name out. It's back in because it's not a Nonnas one, but we have taken out Ian out of the one tonight because, of course, it is a 1080 draw. So Stefano Borelli is going to be our winner for tonight. So Stefano, congratulations. You've won the Castelli Fiandra Pro jacket. £240 worth of jacket. That is amazing stuff and great to see that another of our regular supporters winning tonight. So congratulations to Stefano. We are going to just drop off my screen the random number giveaway, and that means that it must be time to call the one and only Russ Downing, who I'm hoping is going to be on the end of a phone line a little bit louder than he was on Tuesday. Apologies if you're trying to hear it on Tuesday. I could get it, but I've got the big cans and it's going direct in, and even I was struggling. So here we go. Let's see if we've got the one and only. It should be the Bear. Hi, Russ.
I'm here, mate. I'm just turning you down on the TV. I don't want to listen to you twice, do I?
Well, I know it's terrible. Not even Emma has to listen to me twice, let's face it.
No, but yeah, hopefully you can hear me a bit better tonight. The old loudspeaker system in the pain cave was, probably too far away, but pressed the wrong button, I think. But it's all good fun games, isn't it?
It is. The techies sent to try us. That's going to be my motto somewhere. The techies definitely sent to try us. Now, great giveaway. Stefano Borelli, of course, a supporter of cycling for a long time, taking away the win tonight on that giveaway, which is great to see because I know Stefano going to be getting a little bit of inspiration, and how appropriate that it's an Italian company, Castelli, that is going to a true Italian Stefano. So it's a great win by Stefano there. I'm not sure he even realises because he's just on the he's literally just hit the message board.
Oh yeah, he's got to do a bit of scrolling there, hasn't he? I'm sure people are like, here we go, Andy Orr still did it. Congratulations.
There we go.
Man. Oh no, he gets it. What a lucky man I am. So yeah.
Excellent. That's what we want to see. That's what we want to see. And we've got to say a massive thank you to everybody who's a member of the DCG gang and all of our supporters and the companies that support the Chain Gang, because without them, we just couldn't keep the show on the road. So a big thank you to them. Before we go much further, though, we better talk about where we're heading. We are on Tempest Future. It's one of the flattest routes that we do, and it is all about the draft.
Yeah, it's all about keeping the blob tight. You know, we can move pretty fast on this thing. Oh yeah, it's 58k, but you know, it's no extra time to some of the hilltop finishes. You know. Probably the front's going to do it in an hour and 10, an hour and just over that. So, you know, and if you get dropped from the front group, find a group quick and work to the finish and get the job done and get back in the house for a beer.
Indeed, and we do have our red beacon just having to running late today, and in fact having to do an update on the way through, which all of our riders are doing at the moment. But I know, talking to him earlier on, he'd already roped in a lot of the musketeers like Andy Hawes and our regulars. So I get the impression that everyone's in safe hands, even if he's running a little bit late to hit the start line tonight. And it's just about going out the gate nice and steady, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. You know, we've got 45 seconds to go, and you know that's the thing with the chain gang. There's always people on the last legs. You know, they've rushed home, got traffic from work, so people are riding out the blocks with one shoe on and stuff like that. I've actually done it. You know, it took me 10k before to actually fasten my shoes up. So, you know, let's roll out the blocks. Let's look after each other. Don't panic. You will get a workout at the end, and what a workout it'll be. So, relax, have fun, have a bit of banter. Not too much though, because the screens can go mad, and then it gets a bit frustrating when people are talking so much rubbish. But that's another story. But have fun, and 58k to go.
Now what, we better let you go, and no more talking, Russ. Time to go, and the chain gang underway. We can see our riders heading out from the start gate there, and you'll just see our little poor full speed events avatar just being left on the start line, all on their own. So the gang just about making it out on to the start line and away. So our riders away. Russ, keep pedalling. I will catch up with you somewhere en route.
Yeah, you didn't say those 3 words, did you, straight away?
I did. I know, dangerous. I know, but hopefully nobody listens.
You see what you've done? They've gone out. They've gone out of the car park now, like an under-16s race.
Oh well, that's nothing new. That's nothing new. I'm sure the bear will have it under control soon. Right, get on it quick. We'll catch you soon, Russ.
Steady away, mate.
Cheers, buddy.
Who's on the start line then? We just one late joiner by the look of it.
One late joiner's just gone, and our avatar is just sat there. The full speed events one that never goes anywhere. Billy No Mate's on its own.
You better get warmed up for a few weeks, mate. That's all I can say.
More of that later. Right, we're going to let Russ focus on getting going. We're going to bring you the map very quickly as our riders get themselves into some kind of order out on the route. So we're going on Tempest Future. We do have quite a long lead in, which is one of the reasons we can talk and chat on the line for quite a while, which is great because it does let our riders get back together again. So we have the little rud running. It takes our riders in through onto the Tempest Future course proper. And the way to think of this is a wiggly long shoelace with a little loop on either end. So essentially when our riders come in, they go through the finish line after going around the half of the little loop. They go through past the lake, they drop down, head south, go around the turn, come all the way back up again, go around the loop, and then come back under the start finish, which is the rock arch. We'll point that out on the way through. So the leading is 2.4k with 3 laps of 17.3. That gives us 55.2. We are travelling out today for 58 kilometres. We have 2.8k of warm down because, of course, we always finish at a fixed point on the course rather than the blue band. The blue band just signifies when you've done your warm down. The elevation, well, it's minuscule. 3 times 16 metres, that is 48 metres. To be honest, I do more steps than that. More height gain coming up and down out of the cellar, just doing the testing for the day's DCG. So, tiny height gain, 48 metres in total, 3 lots of 16 metres. Our red beacon, Andrew Edwards, just flying into the gang. And got to say, quick reminder, we have well over 100 riders on the ride today. So please, guys, make sure that you stay around that yellow, and remember that you cannot see the back of the bunch, and the back of the bunch can't see the front. So really critical that you make sure to see where the gang are. I think our red beacon going to be dropping in to meet up with Andy Hawes, who's rolled out nice and steady to give us a good back marker of where the gang are. Today's profile, well, the fellow viewer profile shows exactly how flat this is from the start. It's pancake flat until we climb in. At 3k we go through the lake area. We've got a slight rise before the bottom turn. We come back out from there, through past the lake, and then back in around the final turn at the top of the course on the northern end, and then back down again. 3 laps of that. Our riders already well underway. As you can see out there, Andy Hawes just working his way up. The gang at the back are just looking like they are trying to get themselves together and bring the group in. The front's going to need to be pretty steady at the moment just to get everybody together because of the late join of the red. So let's dive into the ride with currently Andy on the Downing Cycling YouTube channel with me, Matt Payne. So we're just riding in with Andy Hawes at the moment on the Donny Chaingang here live, and as you can see, these 3 riders are just chasing the way round. They're about to make the way in through that finish arch at the moment. Just taking a little look around, you can see that yellow beacon is up in front, the red just going through underneath the archway, and these 3 riders working hard at the moment. Looks like Trevor Cree and Andy Hawes and Mike Killingsworth, the 3 musketeers there, definitely more than capable of pushing the way up and in towards that red beacon. So we have the gang here at the back working hard to bring the group at the back together. Looks like Chris Lawrence already managed to get himself a drop out on the way way through. Now he kicks it once again as the red beacon comes through, and with a little bit of work, I think we can get the red beacon the entire ride together before we get too much further down the road. This is going to take a little bit of doing for these guys, but they are motoring at the moment. 6 seconds up the road is Chris Lawrence. You can see that on the right-hand side of your screen, top of the map. Top right hand corner, you'll just see if we zoom in the progress that they're making. The dots are our riders. The yellow red beacons always shown for all riders. So it looks like Chris Lawrence with more tech issues. Chris, hardwire everything. Old-fashioned copper wiring. As far as you can, as close as you can. If something's wireless, even if it's like an ant stick, wire it until it's right next door to where it needs to do the wireless cross. Minimises the time lag, minimises interference, maximises the chance of reliability, and means that you're likely to be able to jump in with the group. So, Halsey and co are starting to sweep up the riders. If we just ride in with Ted, our red beacon here, you can see the riders just dropping in and out around him at the moment. The gang just pushing on to get in towards the finish. He's now near to the 100 riders, but behind him, Andy Hawes is out on the road, and because of the way it works, you can see the riders just dropping in around him. You cannot see the back of the bunch, so just motoring the way past here now. Chris Lawrence clearly with issues with the tech here. So Chris, hopefully the best thing to do, Chris, jump out and jump back in again. So leave the ride and rejoin it at about 3 watts per kilo, and you'll jump into the middle of the group. Now, here comes the pack on the way up. Trevor Crehan and co working up with Andy Hawes and Mike Killingsworth. They're going to pick up Adi Dench on the way through here. So on the way through, the Musketeers bringing the group back together again. And that is exactly what we want to see. So all of that group together. And to be honest, no matter what view we use of the gang, this is what we want to see. The whole of the group is together. So let's get up in the air with our helicopter. And as you can see, that blob is all together. The key here, though, is to not to leave the last rider, because the last rider will not show on anybody's screen. Doesn't matter whether you are red, pink, blue, yellow. You cannot see the last rider. You will only see the nearest 100 riders. So it looks like we just lost Kieran off the back of the group, and another rider just coming up and past is Haggart, another rider who clearly we couldn't see because we were sat in the bunch with the gang. So Haggart at the moment just distanced from the gang on the chase at the moment, and you can just see the speed difference between these groups. If you're riding in the bunch, you can ride at 1.9 to 2, and Mr. Haggart at the back here having to push like crazy to get in here. Tom Haggart here just pushing on to the back of the pack here. Tristan from Haggart just dropping back to give him a hand. So thank you very much, Tristan. So now comes the kick. Tristan now our last rider on the road. And as long as we see the last rider, we've got a chance of keeping a track of who that is. So Tristan making his way and pushing on up. Currently just being distanced from the back of the group, 2 seconds down, along with Adi Dench. So the 100 rider limit already means that we have about 5 riders currently off the back of the main group, and distance lost contact with the main pack. So already the gaps opening up on the group. So Kieran Smith having to push his way on up into the pack at the minute. Tickers are not the last rider, I don't think, on the road, unable to track back at the moment. We'll just see Ted slamming the brakes on to get himself back through the pack. Very hard when you're the red beacon to see what's happening around you. Once you get into that pack of 100, you can't see the group behind, and it's really hard to spot those riders coming off the back. The advantage, of course, for us in the studio of watching those riders coming out the back, and that is quite simply because we can see when those gaps open, because we're not having to pedal the bike. It does make life a lot easier for us, that is for sure. Good to have tickets on here. This is Mark Tickle's last group here. So last group rider for the year. Mark, one of our regulars throughout the year, did an amazing job. Absolutely brilliant, and really looking forward to seeing him after the new year. Have a great Christmas, mate, if you're out and about. Tickers from Sitwell CC. A rider who has improved throughout the year and sat on the back of the group there, doing an amazing job, just working his way back through, and just that pacing the bunch at 2.5 to 3, I think, just pushing tickers out of the back of the group. And once you go, you are in no man's land. So it looks like Billy No Mate's going to be the next of the riders to be dropped out the back of the pack. So Billy No Mates now looks like he's going to be heading towards Mark Tickle at the back. So Billy No Mates now having to push his way in towards the line. Tickers has gone. Looks like Beefy will take away with issues. Just dropped to the back of the group here. You can just see Daisy Freer here doing 3.64 watts per kilo. Daisy distanced by the pack up at the front as well here. Currently pushing 3.4 watts per kilo to try and get herself up to the front. So it looks like Daisy having to burn the ride. Chris Cadham just off the back of the group here. Daisy Freer, looks like Colin Bell dropped off the back of the group now, and looks like he's jumped off the ride. Apologies to anybody who's been dropped by the group. This is the issue once we go over that 100 rider market. So Callum now just pushing his way back into the back of the pack. I'm going to go with our sneaky option, which is to head to a little bit further down through the race field, because we're going to drop back to our own avatar. As we see at the moment, looks like Chris Lawrence has got himself back into the group there, just joining back in. Looks on short distance at the moment. Let's drop back to Andy Hawes. He's 100 riders behind at the moment. He's just sitting on the back of the group. However, plenty of riders further back than that now. Ted just jumping on the back here. Our red is in here, in the green there. So let's jump on Mr. Woodbridge, because I think he's managed to jump his way in with the group. Good to see. Looks like Ruby Isaac in the gang here. So see if we can jump in Ruby in the pack as well. Looks like Chris Cannon's made his way up through the group. Isaac Oliver. Ted now with the Musketeers around him, so that's Andy Hawes in there, Jimmy Allen in the gang at the back, Ted, Trevor Crehan, AD Denshit really is a regulars group here with Tim Cooper and Mr. Booth in there as well. So hopefully Daisy's going to be able to jump back in to the group. Looks like she was distance and Colin Bell, that's Beefy from Cycleways. You can see just why it's so important on the start to hold at the 2.5 watts per kilo marker, because with the issues that roll around behind, the riders just need to get themselves up and in to the pack. Because Andres is in here, looks like Ryan Neal in here. We have our winner, Stefano, in the gang, sat here in the green. So Stefano in there. Looks like Mark Tickle managed to get the gang back in with the gang here. So Tiff Fletcher in the group, and Tiff, one of our regulars in there. Bertie Widowson in as well, Lone Rider back in. Chris Ball, Luke Hart, Kieran Smith, Mr. Goddard. We've got Dale Williams, man, who's going to come into his own a little bit later on, I'm sure. And this is all about holding that draft. You've got to keep the draft. If you don't hold the draft, you're going to be in trouble. And that is just simply because of the pace of the group is going to roll incredibly quickly. Now, Andy Scullin, one of our fairly quick riders, just being a distance here. So just seeing Andy off the back of the pack. Let's have a little bit of a check. Got Eddie Dench just trying to roll his way in with 80 by the look of it. Kieran Smith just dropping back a little bit. Kieran more than capable of getting himself back on. Nobody waits for Kieran. That is for sure. So this is a big group. It's got itself together. 10k in, and this is now moving really nicely together. And that's what we want to see in the gang. Come on, Kieran, get your finger out. So it is all about holding the wheel. Ted patrolling the back of the bunch. Great to see here. Looks like Greg Booker just rolling to the back of the pack. Another man who we know super quick up on the front. Dale reporting 129 riders. Technically, it is actually more. You just can't see them all. And you'll get some different numbers from different people, because it depends on your system on what you can get on the gang and who you can see, how many riders you can actually see in and riding. So let's take a little look. 129 heart rate, Matt, from Mr. Williams. I hope not. Not at this stage. I can't get that far up. Let's have a little look. Looks like AD just having to kick himself back up to pace here. You see young Mr. Bertie Widowson. Definitely not bothered about him not having a heart rate, because you know what? Bertie is one of our youngsters, and do you know what? Go ride, kid. That's what we want to see. Now, looks like issues here for Richardson. Dropped to the side of the road here. Arm in the air. So Stephen Richardson just distanced here. Kieran Smith just pushed off the back. Come on, Kieran. Time to push up into that group, mate. You're going to get distance here. You will be lost. Let's have a little look. 80 Dench, then Ted. So our Red Beacon group nicely working at the back here. And you get a better workout at the back, to be honest, because you have to work like a loon at the back just to hold the pace with less people. And key is to sit off the back of the group, as Teddy's doing now, because that holds everybody. You basically don't see the front, and you can see the riders running. Russ has done a calf line. He's done some calf line at the moment. This isn't some spurious drug. He is currently working his way through a whole load of cafes with a whole load of caffeine with Coffee Espresso. So make sure you go on and give that a follow. Booker making his way into the back of the group now. Ted comes. It looks like Neil from the Crosscast not doing enough coffee. Always the dangerous thing to do. Good to see Gail back in here. Bertie Widowson. Who else we've got? Richard Langmead in the gang. See Richard in this, Chris Idell, Jamie Brown in the group, Darryl Satchel Wallet, it really is a who's who. Liam Calloway, Mark Chamberlain, still running through. Nick McDermott in here, Josh Mayland from Halo in the group. Halo, of course, one of our key sponsors. You see them on the bottom. of the screen there. Looks like Sonia Inslee back in for more after yesterday's climb of Climbers Gambit. It's 3 in a row for Sonia. The gang are working well. Good to see we've got Kai back in the gang as well. Just sitting in with Paul Coleman at the moment. He's the rider in the yellow and black. Just nicely rolling in and around that group at the back. And everything is just pulling back together again. So 21 minutes in. 12.8k. Done. We're now heading back north again, so we've gone around the first turn. We're going to try and get our map zoomed back out again, and just going to go head back in and around through the gorge once again. So back of this pack, just sitting off the group, just trying to roll in at the back behind Greg Booker. I think you're going to find the gang in there. So it's just on a quick note for things that are coming up in the very near future on the Donny Chaingang. We have 2 DCGs, 2 Donny Chaingangs next week. This is the week before Christmas. We are going to have coming up the ride on Tuesday. This is the one, the Tuesday will be one of our traditional Chaingangs. We then have the pre-Christmas crit that's going to be coming to you on Thursday. That's our pre-Christmas crit. On the Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday between Christmas and New Year, we have 3 rides, 3 very special rides. We'll go backwards at them. The New Year's, the last one before New Year, the last one in December is the DCG, and that will be our Road to the Sky. It'll be the end of the year on a high, our traditional end of year trip up Alp to Zwift. I'll see if people can beat last year's time. That's going to be on the, I think it's the 20th. It's on the 30th. On the 29th will be on Wednesday. That's our WOW DCG. And that's, again, all these part of the 12 DCGs of Christmas. And that is going to be a women's circuit race rather than a pure crit. That is going to be out in New York City. That's on our women's only Wednesday. And then we are going to have, on Tuesday, after Christmas, on the 28th, there will be a new guest leader who has not been a leader of the DCG before. We can announce today that the new guest leader for Tuesday is going to be somebody who once was quite quick. Now he's definitely not so quick. Going to be taking on the role of leadership. To give you a little bit of a clue, we should be having a new voice on the mic, because that is going to be Emma, because on 28th we will have yours truly leading the Donny Chaingang. I've picked the route. It's not perfectly flat. It's got a few bumps in just to make life interesting. And we are going to be heading out. So, coming up, we have 2 DCGs next week. We have 2 DCGs and a WOW DCG. Afterwards, that takes us to the end of December. And then we'll be into the new year. Don't forget, all of the riders on the DCG gang are going to be there. It's not going to be an MTB, no. I can tell you that much. I promise you, Vin, it is definitely not going to be. So I will be leading the gang on the 28th. Russ is taking some time off, and I will be on leadership duties. Emma's going to be on studio duties. Russ is going to be on beer duty. So I hope you're all going to join us on the 28th. It's your turn to beat me and give me plenty of stick on the thing. Remember, it is a family show. I will promise to try and keep my cool all the way through it. I'm not going to guarantee it. But equally looking forward to riding with the gang. So I'm not just going to be wishing I was riding it. I actually get to ride it for once, which is first time in 18 months, which is brilliant. Rich Horror's going to be my red beacon. Rich, you and me are going to be having a chat before it starts. I can promise you that, just to make sure that we know exactly what's going to be going on. As you can see, we're just dropping back here. It looks like Andy Hall's just rolling his way up here and just making his way in through. So lots going on the way through, and good to see Rich Charles already in there. I've got to keep the heart rate under 100, Matt. Not sure I'm going to do that, but it does go quite high. It goes much higher than Russ's. I can guarantee you that much. Russ, when he goes pop, it's quite scary. Russ's bottom, as you can see, heart rate 28 is the lowest he's ever seen his. Resting mind doesn't go quite that low, I have to say. Definitely not after the amount of coffee I'm drinking before the 28th, that's for sure. Going to have a little drip hung up above me with coffee just making its way in. There's nothing to say I can't. Russ and mine's game, it's our rules. Right, Trevor Crean on the back, just making his way, just having a little look. And oddly enough, when you drop back, here comes the rest of the gang. Come on, Mr. Hart. Mr. Booker, push yourselves in, guys. Don't make life difficult at the back for the red beacon. He's just trying to work his way through. So Mantis currently limited to 166 max, being treated for clot on lungs. Might get well soon. Big hugs from the chain gang to Mantis there. That is tough stuff, that for sure. So Trevor Crehan at the moment and Luke Hart with Greg Booker. These three riders just being distanced by the pace on the front. They need to push on here. They will take themselves off the back of the group and not be able to get back in. So just taking a little bit of a check here. So come on, Luke, you need to push. Trevor, please push yourselves back into the group. Guys, just watching Jim Brown jumping back in, coming in and through. You can see this is why it gets difficult for our red beacon. You can see off the back of the group, he's going to be struggling to see the riders. And that's quite simply because you only get the nearest 100. So the riders on the way through, the gang continuing to push. Luke just having to push on here. Trevor Crehan, we know, can put out some big numbers, as can Greg Booker. Luke, we're just keeping an eye on because this is currently at 1.9. But I think just making contact with a few riders is going to roll through. I'm just going to keep my eye on the notice board. I've just seen what Russ has just put. $18. That is way too low a heart rate, that is for sure. So just jumping in, Trevor in at the back. We're just going to just keep an eye on the back of the bunch. Don't think anyone off behind. Our riders are just making the way in and through. So Russ is going to have an extra prize at the night for the highest heart rate of the night, posted on Facebook. Love this. Is that going to be on tonight or on the 28th, Russ? Picture confirmation needed. Love it. So it's just for tonight. Okay, guys, so you have to take a picture of your heart rate on the chain gang, on your screen. We want picture proof on the Facebook page. Extra prize coming out from Russ. This is what we like on the chain gang. I'm not going to kill you for it, mate. It's all right. Honest. So, great. This is what we all want to see. So we have a extra prize going out on the 12 DCGs of Xmas to the highest heart rate going out on the chain gang. But you've got to have photographic proof. It's no good telling us that the Cat 80 Turbo, that the dog managed to short the electrics out on your heart rate monitor by licking you at the wrong time. We don't need to know any of it. We don't need any of those. We managed to get rid of all the bone excuses. What we want to see is a genuine picture of your heart rate. It has to be a heart rate something. It has to be on the ride tonight. So if you haven't started with a heart rate on, you're in trouble. Andy Horse currently at 100. I mean, we're already up in the 190 with Andy. Looks like 130 for Jimmy Allen's never going to get there. Kieran, well, he doesn't have a heart anymore. He's just a machinist, Kieran Smith. We know that. Let's have a little look in the bunch. It's Cookie, 124. Eddie Dench. Let's play spot the heart rate for a little bit. Trevor Crehan, Ted in here. What's our Red Beacon's heart rate doing? 130. He's going to be working hard as our Red Beacon because he's trying to keep an eye on everything happening simultaneously. So we come around the loop. We're about to come around towards the end of lap number 1. So just in with Jimmy Allen. So young Tom Lindley currently getting some serious stick. Booker just pushing back in. No heart rate on Mr. Booker either. Tristan from Harrogate. That has got to be one of the lowest heart rates. 92 ticking along at the minute. We're going to come in and just follow these riders in and through. We're going to sit on here. So this gives us a good indication. So this will be the finish. This is the end of lap number 1. We have two more laps to go as we hit the line this time. 2 more laps to go as we hit the line this time, guys. So you can just see plenty of personal bests on the way through. Yeah, big congratulations, Russ says to Sam and to Graham. Absolutely brilliant to see. Joking with Sam out of the national champions, not all that championship cross, not all that long ago. It would be the World Championship Masters Cyclocross. About how I managed to see the bump come in before we saw her, and now going to be an extra addition to the family. So the family of 4. Great to see the news that everything is good. So congratulations to Sam and to Graham. We'll no doubt be catching up with them fairly shortly. Rumours that we're going to get Mr. Briggs on the Donny Chaingang soon are something to do with his lack of sleep. May well happen, but we will see. Now, Mr. Horse pushing on at the back. Come on, Andy. Give it some beans here, mate, because you can't afford to get distance at this stage. Looks like Chris Sidale just at the back here, just letting that gap go. Can't afford to let a gap go. Remember, it's a 6-metre gap, that draft. That's the key number. Jimmy Allen just pushing on in here. Russ just detached off the group there at 3 watts per kilo. That is not likely to be the case. Come on, Russ, wakey, wakey. So Russ just being detached off. He needs to get back up here. Get a surefire. I'll guarantee you he's on the phone to somebody right now. Let's see if he's listening to me. He's not, you see. This is how it works. Now he's woken back up again. Back up to DD3. He's looked up. Russ looks up. So he's just off the back here. Only Jimmy Allen at the back. Slight loss of concentration. Russ dropped to 2 watts per kilo, and this is what happens. Even our yellow beacon at the moment just being a distance as he comes in and through. Now Russ pushes back in to the group, but that shows you just how tricky it is. Distance just 2 watts per kilo. It looks like Russ could be in trouble here. Well, Yellow Beacon could be in trouble. He's not going to get back in at that pace now. Good to see Liam Calloway just pushing on the back of the group here. Kieran Smith in the group. Russ, we don't need to say it's a family show, exactly what you need to do at this moment in time. Simon Runnett, the man who suffered this same fate on this same course not long ago. There is a Runnett corner on the way up here. There's a little hedgerow in the desert that's got Simon Runnett's name on it. So I think our message board is going to disappear for the next 5 minutes of conversation as the riders make their way through the desert here on the 1080-12 DCGs of Xmas. The Donny Chaingang in action, and we're just going to keep a look. So the gang now needs to ride steady because we're just seeing our yellow beacon having to stop for a wee while at the moment before he resumes action. So the gang needing to keep itself together and keep it pretty smooth at the moment. So this is where it's key to have a few bodies heading back. Russ going to have a quick stop. And then a convenience break as it's known on tours, and now going to be starting to make his way back. A little trail of breadcrumbs for him behind. Key is not to wait for him if you're not fast, because here he comes. You can just see Russ is coming through. He'll come through like an absolute express train here. So you can just see the yellow beacon absolutely hurtling through. If you drop back and you haven't got Russ's turn of pace, you can soon get isolated at the back of the pack. You're seeing currently about 8 watts per kilo coming out on the way up here. So the gang are charging back in together, and the yellow beacon back in and past the red. And now the riders who drop back need to get themselves back into that group at some pace. Can't afford to be a distance here. Our red beacon, though, sitting on at the back here. So just jumping back in with the gang. Russ's climb back in through the bunch has rolled him right off the front. He's now going to be easing back off to get let it all regroup. Just trying to work our way back to our red beacon, who's always on show somewhere. Where is he? Here he is. Just back with Mr. Osman at the back here, and this is where you can just see there's a gap showing on your screen between our yellow beacon and our back of the group. It's not there. It doesn't exist. It's only because the render on Zwift, of course, gives us that 100 riders only, and that is key. So just watching Mr. Osman pushing his way in through, now sitting back in with Andy Hawes at the back here with Ted. The gang were really having to work hard here tonight. So Halsey now, Hario 234, so Rodney just in this gang as well, 114. Dexter in here as well. Dexter, this is Tom Dexter, currently riding nice and strongly in with the group. Good to see Tom in the pack. No real gaps in front, but the little group here, the Red Beacon group, just getting distance out tonight. So let's have a little look. So Russ asking, do people want a long or a short trigger point? Let's see what happens. Personally, I think it's going to be a really random number because I think Russ is going to do the opposite of what everybody does. I'm liking Billy No Mates option, sprint only. That sounds like a great idea to me. Let's have a little look. We've got longs to go. We've got 2Ks. We've got Bertie Widdowson. We've got Tim Sherpies on go long. We've got 500 metres to go. Sprint, great idea. 500 metres off Andy Hawes. Short sprint E. Well, there's a surprise, Sonia Inslee. 15K, Kieran Brown. Let's have a little look. Let's see what he goes for. We're currently at 24.1K. Done. We're not even at the halfway point. I'm loving Bertie Widdowson. Organise the lead out and have a sprint. Yeah, that takes a little bit of doing on Zwift, particularly when you've got over 100 riders. I think you'll find that's what's likely to happen. It's going to be a really interesting. 20K, yeah, that's when Jeff Saysel's likely to stop. 2K from the cafe stop will suit Mantis. I'm with you, mate. Definitely, particularly currently into almond cake for some reason. Don't know why. It's clearly got craving at the minute. Darrell Ashwell tucked in nicely in here. Isaac Oliver in the back of this pack with the Red Beacon. The group are working well together. All our riders nicely in the pack at the moment. Good to see Josh in here. Josh Mayland from Halo Wheels. Josh in that grey and orange camo kit. One of our regular supporters, Halo, of the Donny Chaingang. We've had some great competitions from Halo. We've had Goodbye Winter, Halo Spring. We've had Halloween as well. We've had 2 Halloweens, in fact. Great to have the support from Halo. The wheels looking forward to getting out on the mountain bike a little bit later on. It's going to be a nighttime ride for me actually tonight to take out the trail dog. We're going to go out and do a nighttime ride. We've got the Hope lights on the front, and we're going to be heading out with the halo wheels on. Just going to go give it some beans out there. So good to see lots of support and help around the back for our red beacon. That start off the line, always so hard to keep that control, to try and pull everyone together. Red having to work out, particularly jumping into the end. Matt Crease, put yourself something together. Send the suggestion to myself, Matt at fullspeedevents.com. Complete with how you're going to justify all the time it takes to do it. And definitely have a look at it. Always up for new ideas on DCG. But you do have to make sure that you've looked at all of the options. Just running the DCG takes a lot of time. A lot of people will have noticed that we have removed the donate button for riders who just join on the line. And that's quite simply because it gave a false impression that we actually raised any money out of it, because we didn't. It was really simple. The only people who kept the gang rolling are the members of the DCG gang. Those people who did donate, a massive thank you to, but no longer on there. Now, a little bit of chat about the Halo site, because of course we had the gang in there. So the squad running along. If you haven't been onto the new Halo site, it is absolutely awesome. Well worth a look. So this is where we start to see the pressure ramping up. Matt Crease is from the southeast. Not sure where. Well, I do know where all our riders come from, because we take a registration, obviously, and tend to know most of the riders on the chain gang, I have to say, one way or another, having been on the scene forever. So pressure on at the front here. You can just see the gang just trying to push on the back. Ticker's doing an absolutely. See right, Mark Tickle on his last ride with us for this season, and one of the real inspirations. In fact, getting a prize earlier on, one of our inspirational prizes on the most combative rider, I think, on the tour, the Donny Chaingang Tour de France. So the Chaingang does the Tour de France, and certainly one of the riders, got to say, absolutely inspirational, just how much work he does now. Just seeing Trevor Crehan, Sir Rodney and Andy Hawes on here, just trying to push, trying to bring themselves back into the back of the pack as we come down around the turn. This means that we're basically now at half ride distance. At some point, Russ, due to say the magic 3 words, And it's not Izzy, Wizzy, let's get busy. It's 3 very short words beginning with G and ending with O. But at the moment, not happened just yet. And you can just see these gaps now starting to open at the back of the bunch as the pace just starts to pick up in that pack. So Andy Hawes, Trevor Crehan, Ted, and looks like Sir Rodney at the moment in a train, just trying to get themselves back on again. And you can just see working really hard to push as they make the way through. Trevor Crehan, of course, one of our winners of the Nonna's hamper, the supporter of Nonna's, and Nonna, of course, Nonna's manager, getting a win tonight as well. All our sponsors of the Donny Chaingang Supporters Club, so all the people who provide prizes, basically when it's not their prize draw, one of the people getting in there now. Looks like a too early shout from Trevor Crehan, but that bus is forming. I don't think the bus is going to get on here, and I think it is now about to form here on the gang. Just seeing Mark Tickell, who's absolutely ridden himself silly here, just sitting in with that gang. But remember, we look after all of our riders, and that's a nice bus there. So Tickers, get on that wheel, just sit on the wheels, let the other guys do the work. Nice riding here by the gang, and this is what we like. We want to see a group forming. The Musketeers are in here, and you can just see the gang working the way up at the back there. The gang are pushing on up and through, and the pack at the back are working hard. So great. So it looks like Ollie Saxton just dropping out at 28k at the moment. So Ollie just 0 watts. It's never a good sign. Looks like he's out of the game there. Yep, just dropping out of 29k. Good to have you with us, buddy. Now, our Musketeers all together here. You can just see in front and the back of the pack here, just with Fletcher and Allen. It's not a comedy act. It is Tiff Fletcher, total addict on the Donny Chaingang, along with Jimmy Allen, the Wolf, one of our fantastic yellow beacons. In case you missed the news, to be joined by a brand new yellow beacon on the 28th. As yours truly does a little bit of role reversal with Emma, our yellow beacon from the women's only Wednesdays. We're going to do a little bit of swapping around now. Ruby Isaacs at 4 watts per kilo, trying to get onto this group. Ruby just pushing on here. Come on, Ruby, one of our smallest riders on the chaingang.com ever. And it looks like McDermott just being pushed back now. This is our beacon group. So the bus has formed. It's a very fast bus on this flat route, it has to be said. And Ticker's sitting in here doing a great ride once again. Good to see Mark on this course riding well. I think they're about to pick up their next passenger. It is going to be Chris Lawrence. Chris, of course, prolific race organiser from Barnsley, a man who knows the Donny Chaingang well. It's going to be no doubt picked up by Trevor, Andy, Sir Rodney and the gang here. So Ollie Saxton is back with us. He's back in the game. Come on, Ollie, you're going to have to push here because you've got a few gaps to go for here. So Ollie Saxton, one of our youngsters, just 14 years old now, putting out nearly 5 watts per kilo to try and get himself in to that group. You can see the bus is up in front. Ted, don't worry about Ollie. He's coming at about 100 miles an hour. Let's have a little look. Tickers is in there, but Saxton is moving at pace. Saxton can do 6 watts per kilo comfortably, I warn you. Sat here at 5. He's making some serious ground. He's already got that gap back down to 5. Remember, he was at a standstill, down to 4 seconds. So he's going to get to the bus. Will he make the main group? So, yeah, Ted, don't go back. Don't do it. Don't do it. Ollie's coming at about a rocket speed. He's got jet-propelled pack on his feet. So a good ride here by Ollie Saxton. Coming in here. He's got to really push hard here, though, this young man. Sorry, it's Oscar, not Ollie. So Oscar Saxton pushing on hard. So it is Oscar giving it some big beans. Yeah, he's going to be called Ollie forever now. So here we go. Through he goes. You can see the pace this young man is moving. Now, that's one group caught. He's got the bigger gap now to make. Can he get himself back in with this gang? So looks like Oscar Saxton now forever to be called Ollie. Sorry, buddy. That's how nicknames are formed, though. Now, Ruby Isaac sat nicely in the back of this pack. Got Beefy from Cycleways as Killingsworth now. Mike Killingsworth's legs have gone pop. And I think he's going to be heading back to that red beacon, sandwiched in between the red beacon. You can just see Oscar Saxton is motoring his way up here. Then it's going to be Killingsworth. Then it's going to be Isaac and Beefy, who are now both in trouble. They've been distanced. The gang working hard here. Come on, guys. This is where you've got to push. Come on, Mark. I think you can just see Tickers putting out 4 watts per kilo. This is absolutely brutal stuff up at the front. You've seen how long the gang have held in, and this is late for a trigger. Very late. Hagger now starting to feel the pressure. Beefy's got back into this gang. Beefy, I'm not sure that chat we must have had earlier on must have done something. He's absolutely rocking his way back in again. Russ with his magical bike with the adaptable electronic gears means that you can change the gear to whatever he wants. Never a great move though, mid-ride. Now it looks like Tom Hagger just being distanced. Hagger now being distanced. The bus currently sitting at 29 seconds down. Great ride here by Flynn here. So Jim Flynn, come on Jim, big push here. Time to make it into that back. Don't let that back wheel go. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. So Flynn is absolutely pushing. Come on, Jim. Keep on those wheels. McKenna is in here. We're going to just drop into McKenna, take a rear view mirror. These two riders have to keep squeezing. Behind them, you can see Hagger's gone. You can see Ruth Taylor has gone. And Jim has made his way back onto the back of the bunch. There's still 25. There's well many left. 25. There's better not be. Oh, my goodness. Remember, of course, the team are pushing on here. Jim's got back in. It's a long, of course, this. Hagger's gone now. Saxton still continues to push. He's got the gap down to 18 seconds to the 19 seconds to the back of the bunch here. Now, let's have a little look. Ruth Taylor, come on, Ruth. Big push, Ruth. Oh, it looks like that gap has just opened out here, and Ruth Taylor going to be the next of our riders. Rider who's been running really strongly on the chain gang. Isaac Oliver in the back of this pack. Come on, Jim. I think that effort of Jim's really taking its toll on those legs. He's just pushing now, just watching riders yo-yoing in and around. So Hagger is there. Kai Hurst just tucked in at the back here. Kai needs to squeeze here. If that gap opens more than 6 meters, it's going to be tough stuff. Oh, is this Russ with a little bit of gamesmanship going on here? And instead of seeing Hagger's got back in again, Kai Hurst at the moment is just at the back of this group. He's in danger. He's in trouble. Beefy is going to be in trouble here as well if they're not careful. It's getting really wound up with 36 minutes into the gang. So the bus is starting to pick up riders. We're going to get back there in a minute. I don't dare leave the front. It is winding on the front here. It is absolutely frantic at the moment. You can just see that the pace, it isn't actually that high in the middle of the bunch, and this is why it pays to ride in the middle of the bunch. So Andy Hawes with the Musketeers at the back with Ted. All the gang of the group is free formed. They'll be going back on the road. The back of the bunch, Kai Hurst has been distanced. Taylor has been distanced. Jim Flynn distanced. Ted at the back, he's 48 seconds down. And Ruby and Tickers just about hanging on. Come on, guys. Group together, guys. Don't push the pace too hot on the front of the bus. Otherwise, the gang will split. That bus will split. Tickers and Isaac just having been working hard. Ruby just getting distance off the very front of that pack. Now, Flynn. West in here. Come on, Mr. West. Time to squeeze. James West at the back needs to keep pushing here. 7 watts per kilo. You can't afford to let those gaps go on that disc. Got the best bike in the business out there to do this. He's got the one of the fastest setups on Zwift. Into the back of the pack he comes. Behind those gaps have gone. It is game over. So after that brutal pace, our rider's about to go underneath the rock arch. Remember, they've got to get round the turn before they even get to the 1 lap to go stage. Just watching the back of this pack, it is all over the place at the moment. I'm really, really glad I'm not riding this one tonight. It is on a serious wind-up at the moment. And this is going to be, you can just see the reverse Fuego Flats sprint times are coming down, they're tumbling each time our riders go through. All our riders getting personal best at times on the way through. We're just going to take a little bit of a look at the back of this pack, or attempting to at the moment. Who's our rider in trouble? It's McKenna. Come on, mate. Time to push. Come on, Lee. Big squeeze, Lee. You've got to get on there. You got to get on there. Looks like Hill now starting to get in trouble. Grant Hill in trouble. Ken Kerrigan is holding the back. Come on, Ken. Ken. Imagine, come on, imagine on that last shift of the night, you've got to get onto the back of this, otherwise you're not going to get in before the door's shut on the depot. So Kerrigan jumps into the back of the gang. This pace is absolutely frantic, and you can see the damage it's done. McKenna has gone now. Lee McKenna, Grant Hill. Guys, get yourselves together. You're only 2 seconds on the road. Get it together. This is how you're going to get to that finish. So McKenna just going to ease it back a touch. I think Grant Hill works with him. They've got Taylor Hurst and lots of people's behind. Lots of groups that can form at the back there. And you just got to work together. Find yourself a pack, find a group, and then it's always quicker. This course, if you get distance, it's game over. Forget it. So here we go. Gang pushing on. Scotland now moves up through the gang. Paul Mallon in there. Paul, new member of the Donny Chaingang supporters. Looking to have Paul back on board. The group here, Jamie Brown, is just moving off the back of that group. Sadler's in them. Here's Mallon at the moment. Rider who's just joined the DCG gang. Look at this. Look at Cookie at the minute. Well, Miss Cookie has been absolutely motoring. Great to see. And absolutely flying all those rides on the National Series, doing an amazing job. Now, Red Beacon goes in the opposite direction. Our riders, though, heading in towards the Rock Arch. And remember, as they go through the Rock Arch, next time this will be the finishing line. Pearson now starting to be distance off the back of the bunch. Our riders are now coming in, and it will be 1 lap left to go when they hit the line this time. It's going to be 1 lap to go when they hit the line this time. The pace is hot at the front. You've got to stay in that group. You've got to stay around yellow. That is key. Don't let the gaps go. Don't let anything move. That's the finish line. 1 lap to go. Again, personal best all the way in and through. And then once we go through that line, there will be a warm down and check. So 1 lap to go when they hit the line, which you've done. So it's now less than 1 lap to the finish behind. The gaps are opening. Russ at the moment in trouble here because the gap has gone actually to the bunch. Now Russ having to squeeze on to get back in. Tatsuya Waller doing the same as well. You can see just how quick it is at the moment. Tatsuya Waller just going to burst through the group. He had to put a big effort in there to get back in, and you can just see the front of this is being wound to little pieces. Everybody in here at the moment, nothing going. It is as twitchy as Twitchy's Twitch thing on Twitchy Day, on Twitchy Month, the Twitchy Year. It's the Donny Chaingang. This is the twitchy moment. Everybody knows it can't be long. When is it going to go? When will Russ call the magic words? It can't be far away. Absolutely everybody is on tender hooks. They're trying to stay in. Nobody can go. This is going to be tight. In the back of this group are just about hanging on here. Beefy, come on, squeeze on, mate. This is the time to squeeze. Massive, massive push now. Lone Rider, come on, buddy. You've got to push. You've got to get into the back of this pack. You cannot afford to let the group go at this stage, or you are going to be in trouble. You can see the gaps are going to open off the back of the group. Now Lone Rider gets himself back in. The group, they're all over the road. It's like the start of a run into a... So this is where we've got to watch that space. This is where things get interesting. The pace is picking up. Widowson's in here, Gale's in here. Isaac Oliver, and the go. You knew it wasn't going to be long. They were twitchy. There was some real movement chopping on the way through. I think Lindley's going for the very, very early heart rate 160. But look at the power coming through. Massive sprint up here. This is going to be one. Look at it thin. It's like somebody's put it in a vice and wound it up to the point at which it spits stuff out the edges. It is all over the place behind the front of this group. It is one long line. You get that helicopter, you can just see it's going to fracture. The front group starting to go clear. Coming round that right-hand bend behind them. Those gaps are opening up. And this is where it gets really, really tricky indeed for the riders. The group who've made the front. The first selection being maybe that sprint by Lindley, starting to drag it out. We're just coming back looking for groups. Tracy Seeley's made that gap. Craig Genton making that gap. No real time differences. We're looking for those time splits. Bit like on the Tour de France. This is where it goes. When you get a second gap. So this group here with Luke Hart at the moment are pushing. They've got to get onto the back. This is group number 2 at the moment. Hart is putting up some big watts here. 6.6, 7.1, 7.2 from Dowtree at the moment. They've got to squeeze on. They're going to make contact. At least 2 of them are. Dowtree and Hart are. Can Cooper do the same? Cooper now being left to it. Liam Calloway, Paul Coleman, Paul Malin. Looks like a nil in there, ferreting that they are going to have to squeeze. But the gap has gone. Rose is at the back of this group, so after having made contact, this is going to be brutal now. Dowtree, he can see pushing in. Don't forget the heart rate peak. No one can concentrate at this pace, Russ. It's absolutely flat out at the moment. Now Clark getting distance. Clark, of course, some great messages from him. Thank you, buddy, for all of your support for the Donny Chaingang and the DCG as well. Now Tracy having to do the work to pull this group back in. She's got a long pack of riders sat behind her, but it is Tracy Seeley who is having to do the work to keep on the back wheel of Finn Donahoe, and she's pulled them back up there. Bale is trying to push alongside now, so Bale pushing on, and this is where Tracy's got to keep that pace high, even though they're starting to come through. She was working to stay with that group, but she was doing all of the work. They let her do the work. Then she could be in danger here, getting spat out the back. Come on, Tracy. Need a push back into the back wheel of that pack as they've come through here. Great riding by Seeley to pull the group back in, but then the group came steaming past as they came up on the back, and again another group has started, another split happening behind Fulton here. You can see once again that gap has gone out, and it's at 1 second now to Dr. D. Dr. D having to push. Ryan Dubash trying to bridge across that gap, and this is what is going to happen. We remember we're only at 40.9k at the moment. And already as these gaps start to fracture, as these gaps start to go, our riders get distance. Looks like Sadler now being distanced out of that pack. This is group number 2. Group number 1 is only just ahead. It's only a couple of seconds up to the group. But if we take a look with our helicopter, you can just see once that gap goes, it's almost impossible to pull it back. The gap on the ground between our front and back group. The rear group doesn't have as many riders. Josh Mayland on the front at the moment, just trying to keep that gap stretched out here. I don't think he wants the group behind to come back in. The Halo the man from Halo on the very front. We're going to try and get up to Josh before he gets mobbed here. That's Josh from Halo leading out the entire Donny Chaingang at the moment. And it's always great to see our supporters practicing what they preach. Josh Mayland on here for Halo. We have Annie on here regularly in the gang from OTE. Chris Idale regular from Veloskin. Ian Taylor from 1080 regular, except for at Christmas time when he's unbelievably busy. Ben Lowe of Halo Viewer as well. Ben Jenko is here in spirit. He's no mean rider, but fueling up all of the Ineos riders who come onto the chain gang. And of course, Gritty, well, we've got Caroline and Neil regulars on the chain gang, on the men's and women's chain gang as the riders are in there now. Kieran Brown goes on the front trying to split that group back up again. If we get up above them, you can just see Kieran Brown has got a gap. It's about 1 second behind Brown to the riders behind. You can see the splits though opening up, and it starts to become a dot to dot behind Brown as Adi Dench leading that charge. It's Dench who's leading the gang in pursuit at the moment. So look at that. He's still got an aero power up in there. Kieran just wanting to pull this group out. If we take a little bit of a look back from Kieran Brown from Sherwood Pines, it is definitely starting to open up that gap. Well, interesting to see Dale Williams saying we letting him hang out there. Well, Kieran, one of our fast sprinters, coming across the gap though at some speed. It is going to be Craig Genther. Genther goes, and this is now 2 on the front. Kieran responds to this. Are we going to get a bridge across here? Are we going to see riders starting to come across? They weren't pulling him back all that much. So now goes a little bit of an attack. There are breadcrumbs out there for the riders to go for. Darryl Tattershaw-Waller is going to make this 3 if he can get across. Well, Dale Williams saying don't chase. It's all very well. He's got one of the biggest sprints in the group. The big blob is indeed really, really strong now. Tattershaw-Waller goes on to the front. He's gone on putting the pressure on this turn as we come in through the mini Vegas here. It's like a baby Vegas. It's little baby Vegas. Now, through they go. Elliott now goes on the front. Just still watching some big numbers though coming from this man. He's gone for it. The Wolf may be in the pack, but the Bear has gone solo. He's put in a big bear-sized attack, and you can see behind Jimmy Allen in that pack, just sitting in there. The 2 beasts trying to drag themselves up, and you can see the fight is on behind there, scrabbling for wheels. And no one wants to let Russ go. Nobody's prepared to leave him out there to dry, because they know just solo off. And leave them if they're not careful. Just keeping an eye now. Williams is still not doing the work. He's sat in there, proper sprinter style. Now Russ starts coming back together again. And that pack behind getting mobbed. Dench goes up onto the front. He won't want to stay on. It's the left-hand turn here. Around the turn we go. The group reforming. Russ just drifting to the back of that pack. He's allowed that little gap to open up. Another 3 people off the back of the group, and Dale sledging him. I'm loving this. So Russ getting some stick here. Thanks for thinning down the group. Let's have a little bit of a look at who's gone. Chris Ball has gone. Wilson's gone. I tell you what, Wilson, one of the riders who's struggling to stay with the gang, now able to stay right into go, and now right in to the last half lap here. John Garfer, Ian Pillsworth, Catley, Fulton, Kooslugs, Goddard, Gale. A little bit further back, it looks like the group coming the other way. Well, this is going to be one of our chasing groups. They're going to come past seeing the gang going in the opposite direction. So the gang going in 2 different directions simultaneously. So we're going to just work our way back up to the front of the group. This is actually trickier than it sounds on here, as the groups come in opposite directions as they make the way in and through our yellow beacon group with Russ in here. They're seeing the groups coming in the opposite direction, the groups that were chasing. Now coming, next one's about to come across at warp speed here. So going to be coming past one of our riders is going in the opposite direction. That's Gail Phillips that we've just seen come past. Who's going to be the next rider we're going to see coming in the distance here? So going to be Kerrigan going through, and I think that's Miss Cookie with him. Please spot the rider at warp speed. Going to be a little while before we see the next riders pop up, I think, as they come through. So here we go. Tristan from Harrogate now after those 90s up at 140. Osman in here. Russ currently is sitting at 135 beats per minute. I tell you now, he's got at least another 20 beats spare, I reckon, to go at, even with his super low heart rate. And then once again, another push on the front. Who is going for it this time out. Oh, just missed them on the way through. Our red beacon coming in the opposite direction. We're going to jump back in with that front group. We've got to try and work our way up steadily. Easier said than done. So we make our way through. I think Woodall going in pursuit. Richardson and Coyle just on the way past. Remember, we are going to see our red beacon just coming in the opposite direction here. So our two leaders off the front, Kieran Brown on the front again, going for it, trying to go clear. The red beacon group going through behind, and you can see the red beacon heading off towards the back end of the course as we make our way in to the gorge. You can see it starting to narrow. Coyle now up on to the front of this group, and I think we're starting to see some of the big hitters thinking about moving up here as Coyle starts to stretch this out. He's got Sherwood Pines rider Brown for company at the moment. So Kieran Brown, Lawrence Coyle, Josh Mayland just about to make contact. That will make 3. Widowson at 3 seconds back. Now 3 riders. Come on, Josh, you needed to get into this group. Now work together. If these 3 work together, they are going to make life difficult. Craig Herring's gone pop. Yeah, definitely turned off the power there. Just going back a touch. Mayland in there now. Lindley is leading the chase. 180 beats per minute for Lindley. 181. Here we go. Work hard on the climb. Walk climb. There is no climb. As they come on the way in. Dale Williams. That man must have a serious keyboard as Lindley tries to get across that gap. Young Tom Lindley absolutely flying here. Doing an amazing job of just keeping an eye on Coyle. He's at 1 second behind this group. Here comes Lindley. If Lindley bridges across, that'll make 4 riders in this group. Come on, Tom. This is what we want to see. Nice bridge now. The 4 of them need to work together. 4 riders together. They're increasing the numbers. There's still more behind. 4 seconds is the gap. Neil from the crosscast now. Sat on the front, rolling through with Taylor. Now Russ down in. Comes up towards the front. Izzy Jenny coming across. So the team are working hard, and Russ now seeing the danger. He's gone over to the gap here, and Russ is coming across. He saw the danger. He saw the possibility with 4 riders coming together. Now Russ goes across. He brings the bunch together as they come in. They're coming into Lakeside here, and that pack once again thinning out with every move that goes. Now Booth's gone over the top of this group as Russ backs off the power here. We're just in with Russ, but you can see at the front of this group once again the numbers going up. This group into the tunnels here. Coyle back up near the front. Williams in there. Who's going to be our next rider to put in a dig as they go through? These are the twists and turns where you can get away. Jimmy Allen now. The wolf has struck. He's got the claws out. He's starting to rip and try and go clear, but look at this. No one trusts the wolf on the front on his own. They're not going to let Jimmy Allen go. Jimmy Allen has taken solo rides off the front before. He's got some help here, and this is what Jimmy needed, but he's going to get mobbed here as Kieran Smith comes up with Kieran Brown. Now, these are 2 riders you can't afford to let go. Remember, these 2 have been battling for win after win after win. Kieran Brown generally taking the hillier courses. Kieran Smith taking the sprints. Kieran Smith with the record of the most wins on the Chaingang once that go has gone, and particularly playing the game before him. Our big winner was Gareth Mason, who was our prolific winner because he won so many of those sprints. But the man to beat, definitely Kieran Smith on this course. He knows it inside out. He knows how to time it. He can solo off the front as we see another push up to the front. It really is a revolving door on the front as they come in and through. Woodall now pushing up near the front. Looks like Rob Taylor up there. Tom Elliott squeezing up near the front of that pack. Tristan from Harrogate up on the front of the group. Woodall comes in. You can see nobody wants to be at the back of this group. There's just not enough room across the road for these riders as they come in through the tunnels here, in through the gorge. And it certainly looks to me like the gang working well. Simon Runnett on the front. Simon, also known as Sean, also known as the man with some serious heart when it came to the Von Top. That's where he got a Rider of the Day, the most competitive Rider of the Day award. 80 Dench now up on to the front as they come out, and it looks like the yellow beacon just laying back to that 6 metre mark. Are we going to see another sneaky attack from the back? He's just holding off at the moment, letting the guys on the front do the work. It is going to be Tristan and Kieran Brown who are on the front at the moment, and it's just starting to lose a little bit of pace behind as the riders fan out across the road. So you see the numbers are back down in the 4s and 5s at the moment. Who's going to be the next rider to have a little bit of a dig? Who's your money on here? Are we going to see someone have a little bit of a go? If they just tow the sprinters in, if they tow in the Williams, if they tow in the guys like Kieran Smith, this is just going to come down to a sprint. You need to launch attack after attack after attack. You might be lucky, it might be yours that goes clear. It might be that you just spoil the day for the sprinters. If you sit there and just let it happen, you are just rolling yourself to a finish where you're guaranteed to be beaten by the fast lads. And Jimmy Allen knows that. Jimmy Allen going on the front again, make the sprinters chase behind. Brown chasing, Williams is sitting up there, but it is about putting in a massive kick through. Go clear, make them chase, go clear, make them chase. Eventually, they won't be able to chase any more. It's real simple stuff, guys. If you sit there and you let it roll in, if you've got anything, it's worth a kick. So here we go, chopping now on the front here. Goes up, Adi Denchi is putting in a big kick. Denchi goes for it now. This is what we want to see. So Adi Denchi giving it a kick. He's got Taylor for company. These two are quick. Taylor definitely quick, chopping on the front, doing 6. You see, now we're seeing Williams having to do 6. We're seeing Brown doing 7s. As Williams backs off the pace, these two start to get a little bit more of a gap. And if the sprinters don't chase, this is where the gaps will go. If they make the sprinters chase, you will see the riders going clean. Now it's Taylor on the front. Backs back off again. Let's see it yo-yo back down again. So Taylor just holding on the front. Atkinson goes through. Looks like Williams has just used a power-up, I think, on the way through. Just having to kick his way in. Now Williams has gone. He's gone on the offensive here. Look at this. This is why you don't want to take him in. The question is, I think he's gone too early. I don't think he's realised he's got to go through and come back out the other side. He's definitely gone early here. And this is going to cause him problems as he goes in and through. So Williams went early there. He's gone early. I think he's gone too early, because if he has gone too early, they are going to come blatting past him. Let's jump in with him. He's down at 200 watts. Now let's see who's got this right. Now Dale Williams realises he's got to go around the loop. Schoolboy error by Williams. Has he got anything left? Now Russ is going. Well, he went with a 17 watts per kilo as he came through on the way through. Now where's Williams? Leg shot. Downing comes up on him. Williams got to recover. Has he got anything left in those legs now? That was a real rookie error there. You've got to go round. We kept on saying it as you come through. Russ was saying it's on the way in. So easy to lose track when you're in and riding as now. That's one of our sprinters putting a massive effort there. Can they keep the attacks coming? They're into the loop now. So our leading group, this is still a group of 20 plus riders now going in, and I think we're starting to see the string out happen. This isn't going to be a conventional lead out. This is about who's got the pace and power, who wants to string it out, who's going to see if they let the sprinters recover, they'll be able to go again. They can't afford to do that. They cannot afford to let the sprinters get recovery in. If these guys are a puncher, a ruler type sprinter, they're going to be able to kick and kick again, and that is really, really dangerous. So Genther at the moment in there, but I think we're just starting to see another little bit of move. Now, the sprint went early. People tried to chase down Dale Williams. Looks like Booth are not going to let Allen go here. So Booth now putting in an attack. He's got the draft in. Remember, the sprint starts when we hit this beacon here. He comes past it now. Booth has not got the raw power that the other guys have. He's on his way in. Remember, it's a long sprint. It's 500 metres from that line in behind Russ coming. Russ is coming at 10 watts per kilo. Kieran Smith is coming at 15. Now Kieran Smith has got the work to do. That Archie's coming up quick. Has he got enough in those legs? Here he comes. He's coming, but behind him, there's Birmingham. He's coming really quick. Booker is on his wheel here. This is going to be between Smith and Booker. Booker's gone over the top here. We're in with Booker. Booker's going to get this. Booker gets it. Kieran Smith takes second. Lindley's right in the fight there with Osman and Birmingham. Downing comes through. You can just see how fast that was going in the opposite direction. Emsley in and through the line as well. Great to see the pace from these riders as they came in and through. Absolutely amazing stuff. And you can see the pressure has really gone out of the gang. West already stopping as he goes in and through the line. Now our next rider's coming into the line a little way back. We are going to drop across to them as soon as they can. Just going to sit in with West for a reason, as we're just waiting to see. Now behind it's going to be Richardson, I think, our next rider coming into the line, hence the wait. Takes a little bit of daring to get this on the way through. On the other side of the road, looks like somebody stopped on the wrong side of the road. Now, here we go. This is going to be a nice little fight here, because we've got in here Gary Licence, Chris Iredale and Richardson. At the moment, it looks like Licence has got the jump on him. He has, so it is going to be Licence who's going to go. He's going to get this. It is going to be Gary Licence. Good to have you back, buddy. Then Richardson, then Iredale behind, I think. We're just going to keep a check. I think Coyle going to be our next rider heading in to the line. He is indeed so. Love it. Great gang. Warm down, exchange excuses, etc. He's not wrong. Now, Coyle is in danger here, and I'll tell you why he's in danger, because he's heading in towards the line. He's still got about 400 metres to get to the rock arch. Behind him, though, this is the group that's coming. They've got John Garford leading them out at the moment. They're going to mop up Coyle on the way through. Now the big kick goes. Craig Herring has gone early. Herring has gone with that kick. He's gone early. Look at the cadence on here. 140, 154 revs a minute. 154. Absolutely nailing it on the way through. That is crazy. His legs are going faster than a flue blender on MasterChef on the way through. Herring gets it. Then it's going to be Andres Goddard and Gag Pillsworth. Chris Ball goes through. John Catley, Dave Fulton on his way in and through. Kick coming in here. It's Donahue who's chasing Coyle to the line. And Finn Donahue's going to get this. It's going to be Donahue, the next rider in through. Then it's going to be Bale coming through, Forrester, Briggs, Samuel going through, Dubash going through, it looks like Clark going through as well, Tracy coming in and through the line in that gang as well. Great riding. We're just watching now. Gale is coming the opposite direction, so we just need to keep a check here. Now, here we go. It is going to be Tim on his way in, so that is giving it some serious stuff. The picture's starting to appear on Facebook. Maximum heart rate, please, guys. Coleman comes through. Great ride by Coleman. Malin comes through. Dowtree, Langme, Cannon. Looks like Hilbert in. Going to be Ryan Neal. Ryan coming through. Good ride by Ryan there. Steve Cannon. Looks like Rose on the way through. Then Hart goes through. Just taking a little bit of a check. So it's Hart. And then I think just going to keep a check on the riders coming round. I think Pearson is going to be the next rider to the finish. We will try and get back across to Russ when we get a gap long enough that I dare go back, and I know that we've got a bit of a gap in the bunch. I suspect we're going to see the Borelli group coming just behind Pearson. So Pearson is coming, but behind we've got quite a big group in here. This is the group coming, so we are going to see Pearson coming through. Now Stefano is back on form here. Stefano's gone early. Maybe he's inspired by that fantastic Castelli jacket he's won on the Chaingang. He went early. He's given him a lead out in here. Is he going to be able to hold this to the line? Come on, Stefano! This is where you've got to go, man. Don't ease up now. Keep those legs going. Is this going to be the day of the Italians' day? It is. He's going to get it. Cipollini style rolls in through the line, cool as a cucumber. As Orrell comes behind them, Woodbridge, Ferren, Sonia Inslee in there as well. Topless, Scotland and Altsborough going through. Andres coming in through the line as well. What a ride in there as Hayward comes through behind that gang. An absolutely stunning ride. Now, the rider behind, I think, on course to come back in is going to be Gail Phillips. We're going to see if we can jump across to Russ. Easier said than done at this stage in the game when I'm trying to watch 6 things at once. But let's see, can we make a call to the bear work at this stage in the game? Looks like we're going to have the one and only Fonzie Downing. How are you feeling, buddy?
Good, mate. Good. Well, not good, but yeah, I'm still there. I don't think I'm eligible, but I don't think I've had my heart rate that high for a while. I think I saw 166, which is pretty high for me.
Definitely, that is a serious heart rate, isn't it? And we've got to say that is some going on the way through, and it's just the way that finish comes up on this course, isn't it? We saw Dale Williams go early, proper rookie error there, going for the rock arch so early.
Yeah, and that killed me. I thought, I'm going to chase him just for a laugh, and then he had to go again. So, but it was good because it brought everyone back together and put everyone back in the mix again, and they had a carrot to chase. And for once they could see the yellow beacon, which was, it's amazing what they can do when they sniff a finish line.
Oh, definitely, definitely, yeah, no pressure, Matt, thanks. So the Gail on the way in here are the rider who keeps an eye on all of our beacons coming in. Good to see Gail riding strong, and Gail, one of the definite stalwarts of the Donny Chaingang through the year, doing some great work for us out on the course. Got to say a massive thank you to Gail, that is for sure. And that finished, that kick, I mean, it had been flat out for a while, and then it just kept on going and going and going, and then in through the line, I mean, serious pace in through there. And then that final sprint with Kieran and co going for it. It just looked like that pace was just going to carry him in.
Yeah, I hit out early. I knew those guys are coming from behind, and I was just one of them. You were like, all right, now I'm tying up, and then Kieran finishes so fast, and he shot past me that cold, that fast. He spun around and gave me a cold, I think.
He was moving a fair old way, wasn't he? As we're going to see, I think it's going to be Miss Cookie coming in here. Another rider who's really improved, sat in there all the way pretty much to that go point. And good to see Sarah pushing on hard here with Ken Kerrigan. And again, Ken doing a great job hanging in with the bunch into the go.
Yeah, it's just funny. I've just seen a JLT Condor kit ride past, so I'd like to know who's wearing that, which if anyone can tell me who's wearing that.
JLT,
the headlight blue and red one.
Blimey, yeah. Now that is a good question. I'm not sure. I'm sure somebody can.
I'd like to know the call who's wearing that, because I actually, I actually got it in the game years ago.
Yeah, be a nice one to have. It's definitely one that people want. That is for sure. Just keeping an eye on these riders. Cookie is in. I think Mr. Cannon in, and just buried at the side of the line. We're just keeping an eye on Ken Kerrigan and Cookie. They are in the Red Beacon gang, and what a bus! I mean, look at the size of this group making its way in and through here.
Yeah, so I'm just reading the message on the message board, and Tracy, she absolutely loves it. She says she's buzzing. Can she go again? It's like she's come from like nowhere, every week just FTP increase, and now like beaming smile, and wants to do Tempest Fuji again at 58k. So yeah, she's pretty keen.
Yeah, very keen being, and that's what we want to see. I mean, we've seen improvements time and time again. Ted R. Red Beacon just pulling the bus in and home, and got to say, great to see Tickers on his last ride before we see him after New Year. He's way over the New Year period. Tickers tucked in here in a nice bus with Tickers on the way through. Making way in, and this Red Beacon group, they're going to come in and through the line pretty much together. we're going to come in and round about the hour and a half mark for the red beacon. That is soon going on this course, coming in with 3 laps of Fugit, and that's the power of having a big bus at the back, isn't it?
That's it, you stick together. If you think, oh yeah, now I'm going to bail if you're in no man's land, just look on the map, find a group, and they'll drag you. Even if they do another 10k before you bail, you've got another 10k training in the bank and the feel-good factor. So, just keep trucking with the gang, and we'll get everyone through it.
Definitely, and great to see the gang going through. A massive thank you to Ted doing that red beacon today. Really difficult course, particularly with such a long roll-in. Very difficult to see the last riders on the road, and once that bus got formed at the back, it really has motored on there. So big thank you to Ted for what is arguably one of the real tough jobs, because you've got to be able to ride quick, ride slow, and keep your wits about you all at the same time. And I'd like to say I'm really looking forward to being that yellow beacon now that we've managed to announce that on the show tonight and on the ride. But I'm probably not, to be brutally honest. But we'll see. We'll see what happens out there. Between now and then, don't forget, of course, we've got some great rides coming up. The last ride this week. We're going to be on to the 12 DCGs of Christmas, week number 4 next week. It's actually a 5-week month on the way through, so the riders are working well. We are going to be in next time on the next couple of routes. We have, of course, our Christmas crit coming up before we go into the Christmas weekend. Then I'm leading on the first of our rides back. Then it's our next WOW DCG, and that is going to be in New York. And of course, we have our end the year on a high with the traditional Russ Loves It Honest.com climb up to the top of the Alpe d'Huez stroke the Alpe d'Huez. So looking forward to that. I just know
pop a beer or something at the bottom and just numb the legs a little bit. So we'll see. It's all right. You're kind of good. You ride a few corners with the gang, and then you just get in a rhythm and keep going backwards, really, because I don't climb good at best of times, especially not on New Year's Eve.
Definitely not. Definitely not on New Year's Eve. Right. We are going to let you dive for the show and get a recovery drink done. Russ, thank you very much. We'll catch up with you soon.
Cheers, gang, and cheers, Matt, for a good show, and have a good weekend. And see you next week.
See you next week, mate. So great to have Russell with us as our riders do the warm down and head towards that blue band. And just remains for me to say thank you very much. If you enjoy it, if you enjoy the show, don't forget, make sure you subscribe on the Down in Cycling YouTube channel. You can catch up with me, that's Matt Payne, on Facebook, Twitter, all the rest of the social media garbage. Facebook's the one that we use the most, quite simply because Donny Chaingang pages are on there as well. Make sure you go on there and catch up with all of the news. I'm going to be looking for that highest heart rate out there as well. Don't forget, of course, we're back next week with 2 Donny Chaingangs. These are our 2 pre-Christmas. If you're a member of the DCG gang, more great prizes coming up. Congratulations to Stefano. A big thank you to 1080 in association with Saddleback with that fantastic prize of the Castelli Sport 4 jacket. From me, Matt Payne, from Russ, from everyone on the Chain Gang, thank you very much for watching. We'll see you next week. Have a great weekend. Never know, you might see me on a bike getting in some emergency training.